Hello and welcome back. This is Dr. Steve, your physical therapist, and this video is called Sitting. This video is brought to you by sitting, which you are probably doing right now. And you might think that this video is going to bash sitting and talk about sitting posture and the perfect posture and a bunch of stuff that we have somehow misinterpreted and misconstrued as the truth that we just disseminate and continue. It's like a strange virus that continues to permeate. And I don't know how to kill it other than talk about it. And what better way than to do it here on YouTube? So there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to deal with here. This video could be 3 hours long. I'm going to try to keep it short for my sake and your sake. But let's revisit this topic if we need to in the future. Like, feel free, post comments, questions below. I'll get to every single one of them. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. I want to talk first about sitting and how it's turned into this thing that is, if you think about it, this is kind of the way that I envision it whenever I think about sitting. Is I just reference a good movie. See it if you haven't seen it, Wall-E. I think it came out in 2007. And it's one of these things where instead of thinking about sitting the way that we should as a society, we tend to think about it in terms of complex algorithms with a bunch of angles and numbers. This is I did a search on Google like 5 minutes before I started recording this video. And please do me a favor, like go to Google and search ergonomics sitting posture and just have fun with it, because there is so much stuff out there that's like, let me try to find the angle here that correlates with the angle. I feel like I'm back in high school math. And who looks at this and goes, I know what I need to do now for my sitting posture? And if you do look at this and you do get a concept of what you need to do with your sitting posture, I'm here now to tell you that going to these lengths and overcomplicating this concept is probably A, not worth your time, and B, you're missing the mark a little bit. And this is just another way that we, I think, as society takes something like sitting and we turn it into a I want to show this one first. We kind of turn it into like a professional sport, right? I mean, like, it is busy. It's busy, right? And so where do you start, you know? And this is like the implication here is that if you don't do this perfect viewing angles and move your screen in and you put this chair this far away and this at your belly button, then you're going to be in big trouble. And I think that's more than really more than, I think enough to start a video here and try to help dispel some of these myths that we don't have to comply to these whatever weird rules. And somebody wrote this rule book on sitting that's proper, and it completely misses the mark. And then you run into other things that are, just dangers of sitting. This is, again, 5 minutes of looking up sitting, perfect sitting posture and ergonomics before this video. Foggy brain, sitting, heart disease, overproductive pancreas, colon cancer, disc damage, soft glutes, whatever that means. And I'm here to tell you now, let's get into the meat of it. I'm here to tell you now that there is no evidence to support a lot of these claims. A lot of this is just people playing with angles and playing with this concept of, you have to sit a certain way. It might have been well received when it first appeared, and we went in, the way that we've been in sort of society now for a while, and it's driven mostly by computers. And now 2020 with the pandemic, we are sitting a lot more. We're working a lot more from home, at computers. We're at computers a lot. We were already working on computers a lot as a society. The data's there to support that we sit a lot more as a society now than we did 10 years ago. I think it's 1 hour more on average than we did 10 years ago. So we're becoming a sitting species, and that's the danger. And the danger is not inherently sitting. And I want to make sure that I make a distinction there, is that sitting is perfectly fine. And sitting gets such a bad rap, especially recently, where you had something come out talking about sitting is the new smoking. And, everybody latched onto that. Everybody just took that and ran with it. And it's dangerous because to compare sitting to any degree to smoking, which has been an absolute, it's really taken our society. We've gone out of control with smoking. We know the dangers of smoking. We know that it causes cancer. We know that it is extremely unhealthy, and we know all of the data to back that up. And the dangers of smoking to be compared to sitting in any degree is just misguided. And I think it's with good intention. I want to believe it's good intentions that people are talking about sitting as the new smoking, but the fact of the matter is it's not sitting that's the problem. It's the stagnation. It's the fact that, for the last, 7.5 minutes now, you've been just sitting still, potentially, in the same position. And I don't know if you can tell, every couple of minutes maybe, this is just a habit that I've sort of developed. Every couple of minutes, you might see me shift. You might see me change my center of mass a little bit and where I'm sitting. It's not necessarily it's not a tick of mine. It's not a coincidence. It's something that over time, I think with a lot of practice, at first being very intentioned and thinking about it, turned in those intentions turn into habits, right? When you do something over and over and over again. But every so often, I'm kind of subtly changing my position and where my body is, even sitting on this chair right now. And that's what I want to talk more about in this video, as we get away from images like this and images like this that just say, here's how you have to do it, and here is the wrong way to do it. When in reality, both of these sitting postures are absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with either one of these sitting postures. Nothing. And there's nothing wrong with this one at all. The problem is any posture in any amount of time you could consider prolonged or repetitive probably isn't a good idea for a human, right? A human being that is designed to move. We're not designed to sit still for minutes upon minutes and hours upon hours every single day. And I talk to my clients a lot about this because I get this question a lot as a clinician is, talk to me about my sitting posture. What's the perfect sitting posture? And I used to go through that whole plumb line and shoulders perfectly square and the torso sitting right over the hips and the hips at the 90-degree angles with the knees and the feet up on a platform. And it just is so busy and so, it's like teaching somebody how to do some competitive gymnast routine that is so meant to be complex when it doesn't have to be. And, you know, when you're thinking about sitting, all you have to really think about is the stagnation of sitting. And that's why instead of talking about this posture as being better than this one and this posture being better than that one, throw that out. It doesn't matter. The perfect posture is the one that changes and changes frequently. And so that's what I try to maximize whenever I'm working with my clients, or if I get this question just anywhere. I always tell people variability is king. And so try to vary up your position as much as possible. This is the reason that I talk about standing desks. I don't say standing desk is the cure-all, because it's not. If people stood all day, every day, we'd be talking about standing is the new smoking, right? If they stood all day at their desks and they did their work standing all day, we would have the same conversation. If chairs didn't exist, and we just stood as a species all day at computers, we'd be saying standing is the new smoking. Why? Because it's stillness. It's stagnant. And we're not, as creatures, meant to be stagnant. And that's where the health implications come in. That's where lack of physical movement, right? You're sedentary. That comes with a whole host of problems with every system in the human body. We're not meant to be stagnant. Bad things can come from being physically inactive. And that's where the problems come in with the pain potentially and some of the other things that we see happening in the body. And the strain, potentially you start talking about the eyes, you start talking about the brain, is that there is lack of movement. And so I wanted to take just a few minutes and talk about this and show some examples. And please try it out. There's no wrong way to move, especially if it feels good. Everybody's work situation is different. We call this ergonomics, or work ergonomics is how your work setup is, how your maybe even leisure setup is, right? I'm sitting here at kind of my station here where I do work and play. And so you got to have options. You got to have the ability to bring the keyboard to you, being able to maybe potentially modify the keyboard height at different times. Where the mouse is. The mouse can sometimes be a little bit further away, bring it in close. That's considered movement, and varying that movement is really critical, right? Have a stool so you can put your foot up on it, right? But also spend time not putting your foot on the stool. Shift your body weight back and forth in the chair. Cross your legs one way or another. I've gotten so many questions over the years, or so many people come in and they go, this past person that I talked to, this healthcare professional said, never cross your legs. It's bad. And now that person has it in their head that crossing their legs is a bad thing, when really they're sitting 8 hours a day at a computer 5 days a week, and they go home and sit in front of the TV and sit at the dining room table and eat and rinse and repeat. Oh, and get in the car and drive, commute to work back and forth. It's just prolonged, repetitive stillness. That is the problem. Sitting is not the culprit. Stillness is. So I wanted to get on here and share that message, and hopefully just enlighten and educate, and in the meantime, have some fun here with sharing this message. So listen, I really appreciate you being here and checking out the video. We will be back with more content in the near future. Take care. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.